When we're looking at these polls and we're looking at who is voting for Trump, you've got 53% of white women that voted for him in 2020. We've got to reach those women. We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump. We've got to reach those people. We've got to reach the Cuban men in Miami that overwhelmingly voted for Trump.
With the election about 2 weeks away as of the making of this video, I can clearly say that I'm looking forward to all of this being over, because the election seems to bring out the most unenviable parts of our society. Although it is very encouraging to see a renaissance in black men exercising our autonomy in terms of our political power, one of the things that happens in not just election season, but all the time, is that there's a lot of negative energy around black people, and specifically black men, when we make our concerns heard. And it doesn't sound very positive.
Give us free. We boss, we's don't have the same opportunities as those that came before us.
The black man's ego needs to be studied. And when I say black, I mean every single black man on this planet, regardless of what continent you're from. With the ego of the average black man, bro, you would think we are running economies. You would think we make global decisions on economy and security. We don't.
I have this illustration here for the duration of the video because positive self-talk is extremely important, not just for your mental health and well-being, but for your sanity. Because we have to be honest about the environment that we come from as black people, and specifically as black men. It's toxic.
I just got a question for black people. Who's making yous picks cottons, we's can't goes to that bathroom?
With the ego of a lot of black men, you would think we are out here, deciding which country gets aid, which country doesn't get aid. We don't.
Positive self-talk is simply telling yourself positive affirmations, either things that you've done right in the past that you're congratulating yourself for, or things that you're going to do that you're psyching yourself up for. Unfortunately, because many of us live in environments where it's absent to get any positive affirmation from outside, we turn some of that into braggadocio.
I can have any white girl that I want, whenever I want, and I'm not gonna get in trouble for it.
I can have any white girl that I want, whenever I want, and I'm not gonna get in trouble for it. I can have any white girl that I want.
As men, it might seem a bit strange to talk about positive affirmations and self-talk, because it seems like something that young women would do with vision boards and those kinds of things. But telling yourself things like, I believe in myself, I'm worthy, I can do it, are really important, especially in a world where you know you're not going to hear it from the outside.
Are y'all on Candyland still? And if y'all can't fight, then they gonna six the dogs on them. Emancipation Proclamation, I'm only 2/3 of a man.
You would think that we are running powerful militaries globally. We are running countries. We are not. But if you hear the average black man talk, you would think he speaks like he is running the shit, but he's not.
In my opinion, one of the greatest difficulties of defining black masculinity is how exactly are you to be a healthy black masculine man in the world that we live in, because it's very difficult to define. Masculinity is not defined for us in the media in a very positive way. So sometimes we have to either become braggadocious in a way that is unhealthy.
I can go and get any white girl that I want and nobody can do anything about it. I drive past white people, post-whites people all the time, and they continue to tell me about my privilege.
Or we look down on ourselves.
The truth of the matter is, as black men collectively, we do not have the power, the economic power as a collective. We don't have the social power as a collective. We don't have the political power, which typically comes with economic power as a collective, to make all this noise that we make. Black men make a lot of noise. We talk a lot. We act and talk as if we are running empires. We did in the past, sure, but we don't currently.
Salute to the gentleman that posted this picture in my group and I'm using as a thumbnail for this video. The truth of the matter is, the male experience, and specifically the black male experience, is not going to be an easy one. Many of us, if not most of us, were not born into great wealth, and we're born into a world where the opposite of us is what's seen as good. So we have to try and find a positive way to define ourselves, because the truth of the matter is we're just not going to get a lot of positive reinforcement from the outside.
Because I know that y'all want to, we still shackled. Who is making you pick cotton is all I want to know.
Whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Latin America, whether you're in America, you don't own.
So there's only one way we can really get it, from ourselves.
What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Oh no. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all that. Yeah. Oh no. Come on. Do you believe?
One of the reasons we love Deion Sanders so much is because even though he comes across as cocky, it's a believable cockiness because he's done so many great things in the sports realm and on the football field. And so when he says, I believe in myself, or he asks, do you believe? When you know he believes in himself, it is a kind of affirmation that we should learn to mimic in a very healthy way, in that even if things are difficult and we're trying to get through a difficult life where we may not hear a lot of positive affirmations coming from the outside, we have to remember to give that to ourselves. Because if we don't, and we play into the affirmations coming from the outside, the messaging is just not going to be positive.
Give us free. Where is our reparations? Meanwhile, the migrants is walking in with size 12 shoes on. Oh, y'all want that job? I'll get that job. I'll take that job. We can take over whole apartment buildings. And we can bring in guns. And we can take their women. Busting them down.
With the ego of the average black man and what he actually owns and what he actually controls, it doesn't match. I've said this before. Black men make the most noise, but are the least productive. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. The noise we make as a group, the noise we make as a collective, it doesn't match the productivity that we actually generate.
We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men.
Ridiculous, crazy black men. Ridiculous, crazy black men.
And paint red, green, and black on the streets, and you ain't never been to Africa in your entire life. I seen people in the 80s and the 90s wearing Africa chains that was made by white companies. The very people that I see on TikTok on a regular basis complaining about the white man be having they Amazon vest on, and they be in there driving a halo right after that. Doop, 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 doop.
Many of us as black men create alter egos as a coping mechanism or as an adaptation in a world where, quite simply put, many of us started the Monopoly game at zero. And we're competing against men who did not start the game at zero. Now, of course, there are some other men of other countries and racial groups that started at zero. I'm not denying that. But when we're compared to guys that didn't start at zero, it's all about results, which is fair on a certain level. But while you're in process of going from your zero to wherever your finish line is, you need to have your own positive affirmations, because they're not going to come from the outside as black men. We already know that.
They did a Jedi mind trick on the black community. The only people hurting black people is black people. And the fact that y'all even call yourselves black people shows me how ignorant you are.
Black men make the most noise, but are the least productive. Asian men don't make as much noise as black men do, but they are controlling economies. They are controlling politics. White men don't make the same noise that black men make, yet they control economies.
I like this picture that my counterpart put on social media earlier because it is the perfect microcosm for not just the male experience, but the black male experience. We're not going to get a lot of positive feedback from outside of ourselves as black men. From politicians wagging their finger at us, to daily television shows that are saying certain men that choose to vote a way that I don't agree with are crazy, to even other black men having a way of talking down to black men because that's just our environment. But it doesn't matter, because we still have to make things happen. We still have to produce results. In my study today, I came across this particular phrase, and it was quite motivating. It simply reads, "Ji shi xing le," a quote that you may understand by the name of Carpe Diem, seizing the day. The world outside of us is not going to be a very nice one. It's always been hostile. It continues to be hostile. But even in a world, an environment that is hostile, we have to take the time as Black men and give ourselves the personal affirmations that are going to keep us sane. The kind of practices where we create the little superhero that has to start at zero from the Monopoly game and still compete in a world where many other men are not starting from zero is just what we have to do. And it may not be fair and it may be difficult, but this is the race that we have. We have to run the race in a way that is going to not only help us be successful, but for us to remain sane while we're running it. But to everyone out there that's on the outside of many Black men starting at zero and running this race, when Black men get to our destination, when we arrive, and we did it all by ourselves with just us and our positive affirmations, as Kanye West said, you can't tell us nothing. And you could drop the community talk at the door where you left us when we started from zero. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Catch you next video. Take care.